Consecutive integers, word problems. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. Today we'll be looking at word problems involving consecutive integers, consecutive even integers, consecutive odd integers. In order to solve these word problems, we need to represent these integers algebraically. Consecutive integers are numbers that are in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I wanted to represent a number algebraically, I could call it x. If I wanted to represent two consecutive integers, the first one would be x and the second would be x plus 1. If I wanted to represent three consecutive integers, the first would be x, the second would be x plus 1, and the third would be x plus 2. And if I wanted to represent four consecutive integers, the first would be x, the second would be x plus 1, the third would be x plus 2, and the fourth would be x plus 3. If I wanted to represent consecutive even integers, the first would be x. If I wanted to represent two consecutive even integers, the first would be x and the second would be x plus 2. If I wanted to represent three even integers, the first number would be x, the second would be x plus 2, and the third would be x plus 4. If I wanted to represent one consecutive odd integer, I could call it x. If I wanted to represent two consecutive odd integers, the first would be x, the second would be x plus 2. If I wanted to represent three odd integers, the first would be x, the second would be x plus 2, and the third would be x plus 4. We're going to solve consecutive integer word problems using the four-step plan. First, we're going to define the variables, then we're going to write an equation, solve the equation, and check the equation. The sum of two consecutive integers is equal to 123. What are the two integers? Well, the first number I'm going to call is x. The second number, consecutive integers, is going to be x plus 1. The sum of x and x plus 1 is 2x plus 1, and they are equal to 123. So x equals 61. So the two numbers are 61 and 62, two consecutive integers that equal 123. Number 2, the sum of two consecutive even integers is 134. What are the two integers? The first number I'm going to represent with x. The second number I'm going to represent with x plus 2. The sum of those numbers, 2x plus 2, is equal to 134. So x is 66. So two consecutive even numbers, 66 and 68, add to 134. Example 3, the sum of three consecutive odd numbers, three consecutive odd integers is 39. First number is x, second number is x plus 2, third number is x plus 4. The sum, 3x plus 6, equals 39. X equals 11. So three consecutive odd numbers, 11, 13, and 15, add to 39. Okay, number 4, we're going to change the number 42 to 41. The sum of three consecutive integers. So the sum of three consecutive integers. These are three consecutive integers. Let's add those. Is 41 less than the least of the integers. The least of the integers is the smallest value, so that's x. It's 41 less than that. So x equals negative 22. So let's sum that up. So negative 22, negative 21, and negative 19. No, negative 20. Can't count. Is negative 63. Is that equal to the least of the integers, negative 22 minus 41? And it is. So those are the integers, negative 22, negative 21, and negative 20. The sum of 4 consecutive odd integers is 0. 4 consecutive odd. The first one's x, the second one is x plus 2, x plus 4, and x plus 6. 4 consecutive odd integers is equal to 0. 4x equals negative 12x is equal to negative 3. So x is negative 3. We add 2 to that, add 2 to that, add 2 to that, add them up, and they equal 0. So your integers are negative 3, negative 1, 1, and 3.